Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we're going to be diving into the different lessons, advice, and blessings coming through for your month of July. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here for the very first time. Welcome to Cancer season. I definitely had fun with these readings. If you would like to see more of the readings that I put out on this channel, or just are curious what we do here, I put out new readings every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, and so much more. So if you'd like to join in, definitely feel free and check out the different readings that I already have on this channel by subscribing. But yeah, we're going to dive into the nitty gritty of the month of July for you. Lots of emotional energy coming through within these piles. So definitely feel free to get settled, get hydrated for this. But before you start heading in and choosing your piles and heading right off to it, we'll dive into each of them here in a moment for the different crystals. But I just want to mention and thank you all for the support that you gave me this last month through June. I had a lot of personal things really coming up within the tower moments that I was happening. You can check out more of that on my community post, but I just want to send out a bit of appreciation and love and just a reminder that I really truly see you and appreciate you who have stuck around on this channel since the beginning or have been so supportive. So thank you. If you'd like to support this channel even more, like I mentioned, almost every video, there's lots of ways you can check that out down below in the description, as well as through my Instagram to stay up to date on those. But we're going to go ahead and just dive into these piles here. So for each of the piles here, I have a specific crystal on each of them. I was feeling very drawn towards something that was more grounding with the energy that we have flowing and ebbing at the moment. So here for pile number 1, we have this piece of black tourmaline. It's very sturdy and solid feeling. It has this little bit at the end. It feels very directive. So that is pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have a more smooth stone. This one is Obsidian. It has, I believe, the seed of life imprinted on here, or at least some sort of geometric pattern, and it's a palm stone and very reflective. So that is pile number 2. And lastly here, but definitely not least, for pile number 3, we have this piece of Shungite. It has more of a metallic look to it, much more raw in its form, and has almost this silvery, coppery glow depending on the way you look at it. So that is pile number 3. So before you start heading off to your pile or piles, I invite you, as always, to take a deep and cleansing breath here to really ground into your piles and really see which one is speaking to you most. So let's go ahead and take a deep cleansing breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose 1, 2, all 3 of the piles. You can flip-flop between them. There really is no right or wrong way. I will have all of the timestamps down below, as well as within the chapter marks of this video. And if you'd like to stay connected, as I mentioned before, definitely feel free to check out my Instagram. I'm on there daily and would love to hear more from you, your magical practice, the way in which you maybe are interested in the other things that I'm interested in as well. Just to connect with you guys deeper on a deeper level. I'd love to hear more from you there. And yeah, I think that's everything. Feel free to check out the ways to support this space, support yourself, subscribe, and we're going to head off to pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this piece of black tourmaline, then this is the pile for you. We are going to be looking into your July blessings, lessons, advice, and so much more using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, as well as several different oracle decks. And the tarot deck that we're going to be using today is the Line Strider Tarot. I haven't pulled this one out in quite a while, but with us being in Cancer season, this is the perfect deck. I feel like it just is so watery and intuitive, and I really I think this is the perfect season and the perfect time of year to really connect with your intuition within these readings. So really look at the numbers, look at the letters, look at the imagery, and see what those colors really pull out for you. And we'll work together throughout this reading to see what comes through for you. But with all of that said, all of the different decks and supplies that I just mentioned will be down below in the description if you want to check that out. But today we're going to be looking into your reading, so feel free to send your energy in, as always, through time and space here now, so we can really start honing in on your energy, as we're going to pull 3 cards first to look into the energies most prominent for you for the month of July. So group 1, those who picked Black Tourmaline, what energies do you have coming in? Ooh, a good one so far. We've got the 10 of Cups showing up right off the bat. This is such a comforting, supportive card, so we'll see what comes through with the other cards and see how that interacts with this energy. But so far it's showing a pretty good story for your month. Let's see, so group 1, what else do you have coming in for the month of July? Okay, so we also have the Page of Wands here, a very open energy as well, a very wise energy, or one that would like to be wiser than maybe they are at the current moment. They very much want to continue to keep learning and growing and experiencing and adventuring. So let's see what else there is. Group 1, what else do you have coming in? As always, feel free to send your energy in. But the biggest and highest energy is most prominent for you for the month of July. Group 1. It's this one. Okay, so we also have the 8 of Wands showing up here. This one has a very quick-witted, quick messages, quick things happening. There's a lot of like rushing around, possibly feeling busy, but I feel like you're kind of on top of it. I feel like it's more of like you got like the sails, the wind under your sails kind of feeling is what I'm getting here with the 8 of Wands. So, okay, let's just have a little look here and then we'll look deeper into your reading as we go on. So as I said at the beginning, with this 10 of Cups showing up here with the little rainbow and all this really beautiful supportive energy that is seen here in the scene, I definitely am getting the feeling that if you have any hardships that arise throughout the month, things rushing around, feeling maybe that you're a little bit frazzled or overwhelmed by the energies that may be coming in from this 8 of Wands, because it, like I said, you have the wind under your sails, but that doesn't always mean that you're ready for how to direct that energy. The 10 of Cups does showcase that you have support. You have support from the people around you, from friends, family. There's also a feeling of contentment, of feeling blessed and harmonious at this time. So this is some really good energy coming in. So I definitely would savor it, take it in, make sure that it's not like one of those things where, it's super sunny outside and you keep telling yourself, oh, I'll go outside, I'll go enjoy the sunshine, I'll go enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy it in the moment and realize how good your life is going in those small moments, even if things are hard, like just noticing those small things, or even the big things that are to celebrate, and really taking them in and savoring them is what I'm getting from this 10 of Cups. And with that in mind, we also have the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands has this open feeling, as you can tell physically, but also just it showcases that you are feeling more open to be adventurous at this time. So this is adventuring beyond your normal, right? For some people, adventure is traveling the world, right? Something really big and expansive. But for some of us, it's just walking outside of our house, or just making that phone call, or doing that first step, or just stepping slightly outside of our comfort zone, but kind of in like a rushing, exciting kind of way. So if you have something you're excited about, something you want to start putting the wind under your sails towards, this is the time to do it. And you might have someone who is possibly a Sagittarius, as that shows up here on this card as well. Also the number 11 shows up with this card. But if you feel like you have someone that's like this type of energy, who's very much a go-getter, or just really wants to just start helping you in whatever this aspect is, this new project, this new career, this new small step, that may feel really big to you, definitely take the comfort and support, because that's showing up here again with that 10 of Cups, and they may be really helpful, or even a more wise figure in your life, someone who can show you a little bit more experience, or give you a better point of view of where to go, because the Page of Wands can also showcase naivety or not having all of the facts when you start, right? It's the very beginning. We don't always know everything. We're still taking those baby steps, and we're just hoping we toddle along to the thing that we want most. So if you need that help, that guidance, then definitely ask for it from someone you feel might have that more experienced mindset in sort of their back pocket for you. We also, like I said, have that Eight of Wands energy. The Eight of Wands energy showcases that rush, that wind under your sails. So this is not only that you want to put action towards whatever these steps are, but also that the universe is sort of working in your favor as well, and that there are things working around you that are making this happen, right? It's not just you, but like things start lining up, opportunities line up, the right people are there at the right time. So take advantage of that. And then also there's a feeling of messages that comes from this card as well as pages. So really listen and take in the ways in which people communicate with you. So if that's through text message, or how they talk to you in text messages or emails, or who's reaching out to you and where those opportunities might show up, could be really important to you as well. So like different ways of written communication, digital communication, or even the way that you speak physically to someone. Or even nonverbals. Yeah, just really listen to your communication. That's going to be really useful in finding those ways in which the universe are kind of bringing those messages, opportunities, and people to you. So with those being your highest energies, let's start moving into the deeper parts of your reading, where we're going to look into first the highest blessing that you have coming in. So some people don't really love the word blessing. So another way you can think of this is more of like an advantage or an energy to take advantage of throughout the month, or it's just going to be really on your side. So let's see what that is for you, group one. What energy? Oh my gosh, did you see how that just flew all the way off my table? Give me a minute. All right, so you got a whole clump of them here, and I'll pull them all up for you. I think that the top one is the one we're probably going to go for, though, but just in case manifestation or talent has something in it for you, feel free to see and look at these cards here and pause. But the one we're going to take here is willpower, as it was at the top. And I also noticed that this card as well is sort of holding two different entities as well. So it might be a talent that you're moving into or something you're manifesting at this time. But with willpower, it tells me that you have things that you're wanting to bring into focus, right? You can see with them here, they are holding the earth and the moon and making it continue to cycle, or having the opportunity to create destruction, or having the opportunity, you have these two really big ideas or places or things that you can start to line up, and it's up to you to see how you want to do that. Willpower showcases that you have the will, you have the power in your hands to create, to destroy, to change, to transform, to transmute energy. It's all in the eggs are in your basket, basically, is you have the power to make it happen, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You have the power to manifest it forward. You don't have to wait for something to happen. You don't have to wait to ask for that support. You can do it right now. It's up to you. But the point is, there aren't things blocking your path. And if there are, you have the willpower to overcome them. And I know it seems cheesy. I know it seems like, of course I do. Or, everyone kind of says that. But I really, truly do think so, because you do have that 10 of Cups and you do have that 8 of Wands, all showcasing that things are moving in your, you're not having to go up river, you're following the river. It doesn't have to be such an uphill battle for you this month. So really take in the ease that you get from that. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to your relationship message, but later we'll look into your lessons and advice, your affirmation for the month, and also your charms. So we'll keep on moving here, but this is a relationship message. This is the energy of your relationships this month, and you can kind of set which relationship you would like to look into: the relationship with spirit, yourself, with nature, a family member, a friend, a more romantic relationship you may be in, however you would like to see it. But we're going to see what's coming in for that specific relationship, or your relationships in general this month for July. Okay, so we have change. Know when to move to a new shell, especially if yours no longer fits. And then we have this little hermit crab moving from one shell to the next. So this is maybe needing to evoke change, to use that willpower and to move that in which you want to move forward. and to also transform what you need to. So I think within your relationships, if you're in a relationship right now that no longer fits you, you have a friendship that's maybe toxic, or you're realizing things and realizing you have the willpower to also change things that are not only to move towards like more positive goals, but also maybe there are things in your life that you need to start changing or shifting within your relationships, right? We talked about communication being a really big point in your month, and to be very much aware of what kind of communication is putting wind to your sails and which ones are kind of pushing against you. So look towards that change. Notice when it's time to make that shift. Maybe that's about putting in boundaries with people. Maybe that's about changing the boundaries you have with people. It could go many different ways, but a change needs to happen within a relationship this month. And it can be a change hopefully for the better. So let's go ahead and see your next two. So now we're going to look into a card here for a lesson. So something you're going to learn, evolve into, mature in within this month. And then an energy that might be coming in for advice from spirit, from guides, from the universe, however you wish to see it. But that will be advice coming through for you. So let's see first, group one. Definitely feel free to send your energy in. Group one, we're looking at, there we go, for your lesson this month. Okay, so we have the number 23 showing up here, as well as the summer suit. So this is within the height of summer, and it also is willow. So this is like the willow tree, and it showcases this infinity sign. It also has a lot to do with flexibility, because if you've ever seen like willow trees, they're very flexible, they move, they're very much in tune with their, like, they're always usually near like rivers and water, so they tend to have a lot of that intuitive ability, right, to move, to shift, to change when needed, to be more flexible when needed. So I think willow is showcasing to be more flexible with your emotions, be more flexible with your life, allowing yourself to shift and change and move and see what fits and what doesn't, to play around with that a little bit more, to give yourself a little bit more ease in that space, so things don't have to be so strict and cut off and easy and narrow, but to allow yourself a little bit more of that. So I think that's a lesson you're going to be moving through, is the idea of flexibility, the idea that things don't always have to be like an infinity forever mark, but something that maybe ebbs and flows. So that's what I'm getting here with willow. Let's go ahead and move on to your advice card from spirit for this month, or even just your higher self and the cards. So group one with the black tourmaline, what do we have coming in here for their advice for the month? Okay, let's see what you got. All right, so you got the seed. Perfect, right? So I was saying you're moving through baby steps. You have that more young, naive energy that a seed has, right? They're only just beginning their journey. So we have the seed. This is the spring suit. So it can also be that something maybe you did in the spring is telling you to maybe have advice within this situation as well. But yeah, we have the seed showing up here. It's the first card within the deck and is actually the number 0. It reminds me a lot of the Fool card in tarot. So again, taking the leap, believing in yourself, just seeing what will happen. It makes me think of like going into a store and just grabbing a bunch of clothes and just trying them all on and seeing what you like and what you don't like. But you're not going to know until you try it on. So try and see what fits and what doesn't fit. Maybe give it a couple of days, to see how it feels. You're allowed a trial period. You're allowed a little bit of that ebb and flow. It doesn't have to be so strict. So your lesson and your advice are very much mixed and intermingling here. And so just allow yourself a little bit more ease this month. And I think that's the biggest advice I could give you, as well as to take in those little blessings and those little growths that you get, because they hold a lot more power over our lives than you think. So with that said, let's move on to a watercolor affirmation, and then we'll do your charms for those smaller bits and bobs, little details to close off your reading. But if you have enjoyed this reading so far, definitely be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much and helps others to find this space. But let's go ahead and look at a watercolor affirmation for the month for you for July, group 1. The watercolor affirmation for group 1. Okay, what did you get here? All right, so we got all you desire is on the other side of fear. Wow, there is so much energy in your favor this month to just try things out, right? Fear is your biggest obstacle, honestly. And it's a very potent one, right? We don't like to tell ourselves that, right? We can overcome fear and all of that kind of stuff. But it's just reminding yourself that you don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be without fear to move through the world or to do the things that you want to do. But be brave enough to overcome, not even overcome them, but just like do it anyways, right? To just move through fear or move with fear as a companion to yourself. See how that fits for you. Might fit differently for each of you, right? Try it on, see how it fits. So there we are. I'm going to go ahead and set that here for you, and we're going to look into your last little messages here from the charms. I love how shiny they are on camera. It's so pretty. So feel free to send your energy in and we'll pull out these for you. So group 1, July. Okay, so I had quite a few that fell off the board here, so feel free to look at these in case they resonate for you. But let's go ahead and dive into these ones. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that I'm noticing here is we have a zodiac sign showing up between the Page of Wands and the Ten of Cups, and you have the zodiac sign of Aries. So this might be an Aries in your life, or someone who is a fire sign in their sun, moon, or rising, or just a lot in their chart is showing up. Someone who's very fiery and has that energy, very much like this Page of Wands that I was talking about. So it might just be giving you like, it's not just Sagittarius, but maybe someone who's also an Aries that's showing up here to help and assist you, or maybe you're an Aries and that's giving you more confirmation there. Other things like I was talking about, they may be coming in to help you, and what it made me think of is that with this charm, it's a rose quartz piece, and it makes me think of like they're giving you more of that peace of mind, because rose quartz gives a lot of healing, a lot of peace of mind, a lot of comfort and joy. So to have those all show up here with this person is making me think that either you're giving yourself more comfort and joy and support than you have been in previous months, and you're growing that within yourself and nurturing that within yourself, or someone else is coming in to enlighten that within you and to kind of light that up. Other things that we have here on the Ten of Cups, we have the miscommunication charm. So again, communication showing up here again. So this is the miscommunication charm, because for me personally, I cannot read this language. So it's just talking that someone might be talking in a different language, or you're maybe not listening to the full conversation with someone, or maybe someone's not listening to your joy or understanding you fully. Or even just being more open. Seeing as we had it this way, it makes me think that you want to be more open with your communication, but maybe it's just not coming out the way you wish to. So that might be something to work on or to navigate with someone this month. Other things that we have, like I said, with willpower, it made me think of like you have all the eggs in your basket. You have everything in your corner. And what I think is funny is here next to the moon, so your emotional state, your willpower, is showing up here within the basket. So we have all the eggs in your basket charm. So of course that's showing up here again. So definitely a lot of like, you definitely have a lot of green lights and not red lights this month. Other things showing up here, we have the growth charm or the bloom charm. So where, like I said, some of you might be feeling like you had a seed you planted in the past and you're just waiting for it to bloom. That might be blooming this month, and maybe it's not blooming in the way that you had expected, but it might be blooming in a way that you maybe have to be more flexible or look at it from a new point of view, right? Maybe you were trying to bloom roses, but you got tulips, and tulips aren't bad, but it wasn't what you were expecting, and you might be having to change your point of view there, seeing as it fell on your lesson card. And then lastly here, you got the bear claw charm, and this one fell on the side of feeling more of hibernation. So whenever I see this, it says bear claw at the bottom, so I always think of it as like a bear in hibernation. So I feel like, again, it's something that maybe has happened in the past, and it's just, or you've hibernated on this seed for a while and now you get to allow it to bloom this month. It's coming out of hibernation. or that it just means that, again, a lesson you'll be learning through is knowing that your blooms might take a little longer than you expected and being more flexible in that, allowing yourself more ease. So those are all of the charms and cards. I'll go ahead and zoom you out here so you can see them all, but those are all of your charms and cards here for the month of July. I hope you did enjoy. Again, if you did, please be sure to give this video a like, as well as let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, this month is within the Cancer season, all about intuition, so I would love to see what you intuitively picked up within the dates and the places and the names and all the different things that are showing up here within the colors. Even lots of things may have come through for you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I always find that super interesting. And also, if you are enjoying this space and maybe you would like to tag along for a few more of these videos and stay updated on the rest of the readings that I put out every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, and so much more, then definitely be sure to and consider subscribing to this Kindred community. I would love to be able to do more of these for you. And if you'd like to support this space, definitely be sure to check out my Instagram, where I keep you up to date on all of the different ways in which you can interact within this community and to support it through the Kindred tip jar, snail mail readings, and also the different Pride related offerings that I put out. So definitely feel free to check that all out down below. And with that all said, I'm wishing you the best for your month of July, and I will hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this palm stone of Obsidian, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set it down right here so you can see it during your reading today, as we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, as well as several different oracle decks, and the tarot deck of choice with the Line Strider Tarot today. I haven't pulled this one out for a while, but I felt so connected to it today for the Cancer energy that we have for the Cancer season. As we've moved into it just recently, and it'll be most of July. So I just felt really into that watery, intuitive energy. And I mentioned this in group 1 as well, but I really invite you this time, and with all of my readings really, to really pull out your intuition, really take on your intuition cap and see what comes through for you with the different numbers, the colors, the different imagery that comes through for you, and see how it personally connects into your life. Because I think there's going to be little nuggets of information, especially with this heightened Cancer energy. So let's go ahead and get started. But if you'd like to see more information on the different decks and supplies that I use, as well as other ways to interact within the space, then definitely check out all of the information down below in the description. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So feel free to get settled, some water, some tea, stay hydrated. And we're going to get started, so feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and we'll get right into your month of July. All right, we already have one flying out, so you guys have definitely been sending your energy in for sure. The first one, okay, so we got the 3 of Swords. I just had a feeling that this one was going to pop out for one of you. So here we are with the 3 of Swords, but I'm getting a different energy off of it, so I'm going to see what comes through with the other 2 cards, and see how the energy is playing out within your month. Let's see what else. So group 2 here. Group 2, what do you have coming in? All right, let's see what we've got. All right, so we've got the 7 of Pentacles showing up, as well as the Fool card, and we also had the 2 of Cups, the Emperor, and the Star, in case those resonate for some of you, but I'm going to take just the Fool card here. Yeah, let's start looking into this. So definitely a different kind of reading. These cards typically don't come out together, but I am really feeling them for you. There is this, and I think it's interesting that there's birds in every single one of these cards. So I'm going to pull them up for you, especially, like I said, to see that intuitive energy. But as you can see, there's a card here at the top of the Fool, 2 in the center, and then 1 over here. It almost feels like they're going in opposite directions, right? They're looking different ways. And this 3 of Swords usually showcases a feeling. It's like most people pin it down as only the heartbreak card, or like you've gone through a deep amount of heartbreak. And for some of you, that might be true. But I'm really getting this feeling of confusion, a confusion with your emotions, conflicted emotions, right? You know, when you have so many different emotions happening at one time, joy, laughter, but also sadness and grief, or other different ones that might be intermingling, and it's hard to express them, to communicate them, to understand them from a more rational point of view or a more mature point of view, or even rather just like a way in which to truly understand what you're even feeling or to communicate that. So I feel like for you, this month is about being able to communicate or better understand what it is you are feeling and how to move forward with that. So that's what I'm getting mostly with this Three of Swords, is that with this Cancer energy, it does really heighten our emotions. It's more connected with the moon, with the tides, with more water energy, right? So it's more flowing and free flowing. So it makes our emotions more free flowing and very much heightened, like the tides with the moon. So in this case, I think that this month is about just being able to understand when those emotions gear up or feel overwhelming, and to sort them out in a way that is more useful to you. Because here with the Fool energy does showcase this flying, this freedom, right? So when we're free flowing in our emotions, and these don't always have to be bad emotions either, right? Or what we pinpoint as bad emotions, or negative emotions, because I think any emotion can actually be really useful. But any emotion that you may be feeling from the whole spectrum can be coming up within this card, right? Sometimes we can feel an overwhelming amount of joy that we just cry and we have no way of understanding it fully. So however that may feel for you. But with this Fool energy, right, there's this freedom, there's this naivety that comes with the Fool card, right, of just fully believing in yourself and just going for something. And then the other energies that we have coming in here is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles usually showcases a like weird in-between space where you're still growing something, you're moving towards something, you're wanting to finally harvest the reward for all of your effort, but it's just not there yet. It's just not ripe yet. It's just not entirely there, right? You still have a little bit left to go. So these may be all related, but I'm honestly feeling like they're different things that sort of relate when you move through this confusion. But I think just looking at these cards now, it makes me think they're very separate things. So maybe you're working through something at work. Maybe this is something that's happening just in general, kind of overlaying the whole month. And then the Fool energy is making me think that you're wanting to move to something better. And it may be because you're kind of feeling a little bit stuck, or a little bit like, I'm not getting much flight out of this, right? You're feeling a little bit in the thick of it. Where the Fool is much more freedom, much more, flight, like that bird is. So you might be feeling conflicted between these two different options of to stay and finish something, or to go. And that might be causing this unrest within these emotions because they're battling each other. And I think the best way to do it is to communicate with a friend, to talk it out, to understand where these emotions are coming from, because I think they will give you a little bit more relief and direction. So that's what I'm getting mostly from these cards, and I think they're going to come up more as we go through the rest of the reading. So let's get a little bit deeper here. We're going to look into your next card, which this one is the biggest blessing coming through for the month. And for some of you, I know you don't necessarily love the word blessing. So another way of looking at it is an energy to take advantage of, or it's going to be in your corner for the month. This is an energy to really use as if it's like a tool in your tool belt. So let's see what that tool is for you this month of July. Group 2. What tool is at your advantage this month? Group 2. And as always, feel free to send your energy in. Okay, so we have inspiration. Okay, so you might be feeling inspired, but not knowing necessarily where to use that inspiration. I've definitely been in that boat where maybe you're feeling less inspired by what you've been working on, but you're very inspired to start something new, and it's kind of that confliction. But I think it's following that inspiration, realizing what inspires you, and realizing what doesn't inspire you anymore, what doesn't give you that spark anymore, what doesn't really motivate you to continue to grow from that heart space. So we're getting inspiration as that thing that's in your tool belt to be inspired and utilize that throughout the month. But let's see the rest of your reading. So we'll take a little break from this, most of this anyway, and quickly get ourselves a little bit of a relationship message. So this is going to be the energy coming through for a relationship in which you can send in here now a specific relationship or just your relationships in general this month. So this can be a relationship with spirit, with yourself, with a family member, friendships, within a romantic relationship, marriage, however you'd like to see it. But let's go ahead and look into a relationship message here. As always, you can send in your energy, your question for this card. So, okay, feeling this top one. All right, so we have safety. Don't be too proud to go back to the shore. And we have these little sharks swimming, or at least I believe they're sharks, some sort of sea creature there. And it says, don't be too proud to go back to the shore. So, okay, so safety. That gives us another layer, again, with just in general, the things that we had showing up here of this feeling of maybe not being able to communicate your feelings, being able to communicate what is safe and what is new. I do think those are things that are continuing to kind of be something to grapple throughout the month. But I do think that you're going to have a safety net in the people who do inspire you, within the people whom which you can communicate to, and they might give you a new point of view in a way you hadn't before. Maybe you're taking the safe path and not following your inspiration, or maybe they just give you that support and safety that you're looking for. But I do think that it's important to not feel too proud to ask for help, not feel too proud or like you have to have it entirely sorted out, right? You can be conflicted, you can be confused, and still ask for help and just be seen and just be noticed and understand that you might need that help, and have other people have that be an understanding as well. Because it's really easy to just be like moving through the motions, and people maybe don't know that you need that help and that safety net underneath you that they can give you. So that's what we have here for safety. Let's move into your next two cards, and then we'll be pulling your watercolor affirmation as well as your charm, so definitely stay tuned. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, definitely be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much, and I appreciate everyone who has. But we're going to go ahead and pull first a card of a lesson that you'll be moving through. So this is a new skill, something you're maturing in, something that you are learning throughout the month and growing through. And then we're going to pull an advice card for the month from Spirit, from God, from goddesses, from the universe, from the cards themselves, however you wish to see it. But let's go ahead and look first into that lesson. So a lesson you'll be learning here. All right, we've got one that flipped. All right, I think it's Jasmine. Yep. Okay, so we have Jasmine, and this is the number 10 in case that resonates for anyone. And then we also, it's in the spring suit. So spring, about blossoming, blooming, planting, and putting those very first initial things down. And here it showcases like a little grove of jasmine growing here with a knife in the center, or rather a little dagger. And the dagger for me showcases, and what I'm getting most from it in your reading, is this feeling of capability, right? Having a tool, having a safety net, having something capable within your hands to grasp and use for support. As a lesson that you'll be moving through and asking for that support. But I'm also getting this feeling of like trusting, and this card usually showcases that like jasmine grows where it's meant to. It thinks itself through. It's a very smart plant, very intuitive plant. And so jasmine grows where it's meant to. And so if you are in a space growing and thriving, or not growing and thriving, then that's just not your place to be at this time. Or if it is a place that you're growing and thriving, then you're meant to be where you are. And sometimes we go through rough patches, right? Jasmine maybe isn't getting enough sun or as much water, but it'll always prevail. And that's what I'm getting really from this, is just to keep trusting in your own judgment, trusting that you planted yourself where you were meant to be. And if not, then you trust yourself to take that leap of faith as well. So no matter which way you go, there is that feeling of trusting in your own judgment, trusting in your own decisions, and allowing that help to come in where needed because you have the capability and the tools in which to do so. But let's go ahead and pull your next card, and this one's going to be your advice card. So if you work with spirit, with gods, goddesses, any other sorts of energies that you'd like to ask for this advice for, then definitely feel free to send that energy in. But let's pull that for you, group 2. Okay, so we got the Buttercup. All right, so whenever I see this, it makes me think of like buck up buttercup, which is just sort of a saying to like just keep on going, just keep on doing it, just keep doing your thing. But sometimes that can feel a little shallow or feel a little bit like, okay, just like buck up. But sometimes we need to feel those emotions and understand them. And I think that's where this is coming through, is this feeling of like on the surface, yes, maybe you can just sort of put on a smile and work through it, but there's things that are still going to need to be understood when the moon's out and when you have that time free. Those emotions are going to bubble back up. So it's about just processing those emotions, understanding those emotions, and that's the advice that I'm getting here. The number 5 is showing up, which is disruption, confusion, confliction, and then we also have, and also the number of change. And it also is the spring suit again. So we have a lot of spring new energy. So again, maybe navigating new emotions that you weren't expecting and allowing yourself to move through those. So that's what I'm getting here from Buttercup. So with that all in mind, let's go ahead and pull you your watercolor affirmation, and then we'll move to those charms to finish off your reading here. But let's see a affirmation for you for the month of July, group 2. I wonder why I said 1. Feel free to see how that resonates for you. But we have Don't Stop Me Now. And that's interesting because I had considered also talking about the determination side of this card as well. Buttercup does showcase a determined energy. So whatever you do put your mind to, whatever you are capable in, whatever you do decide to plant yourself in, right? Like I talked about with Jasmine, it is the right thing to do. So don't stop. Trust in your own judgment, trust in your own ability, because it's going to take you places. So don't stop now. Just keep on going, keep on trucking through it, or keep on processing it. So that's what we have here with Don't Stop Me Now. Let's see your final charms. So I talked about this in group 1, but I absolutely love how the charms sort of move here. But feel free to send your energy in, and we'll look into July here for group 2. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Okay, all right, so we've got only a few charms showing up here, about 5. So again, another number with 5. But here on Jasmine, because it kind of rolled off here, is the bottled up charm. So this is a jar with a bunch of rocks in it. It has a very earthy, like just very heavy feeling to it. And it always makes me think of like bottling up your emotions or bottling up things that are overwhelming you and just hoping that it'll fix the problem. But if anything, it just sort of collects. And so this is just being aware of that, and that being a lesson that you're going to be moving through, is how to maybe navigate that collection, making sure that and reminding yourself that you're capable enough to move through it. And then also we have the topsy-turvy energy, because I always think of this, it kind of looks like a top. So this is like, what are you juggling? What are you moving through that's continuing to cycle in, or that you feel like you're just spinning in circles with? And that's showing up with that inspired energy, the Fool energy, and the Jasmine energy. So that's all kind of bottling together and working together. And I think, again, there's this thing that you want to start moving towards, but maybe you're feeling like you have to keep going back and forth on it. And this is the month to sort of work through why you're going back and forth, maybe do a pros and cons list, really journal through it, understand your emotions on it, so you can make a better judgment. Because I feel like you maybe have all the facts, but the reason why you aren't moving forward is there's emotion attached to this decision, and it's not an easy decision, right? That's why the top's still spinning, but I think it's a lesson and something you're going to move through, and what you're most inspired by is going to be the key to that, because we also have a key here. And this is the key to your heart, which I think is really interesting because I mentioned here that your heart is lit up by this inspired energy. So again, I feel like you have the key to understand it, but it's going to be within communicating your emotions on this to make a more rational, logical decision, and that they can't work one or the other. You can't just make a rational decision without looking at the logic, and you can't just make it with only your emotions. They've got to work together. And I think that's going to give you a more rooted, grounded feeling by the end of the month by doing that work. And it's not easy work, but I do think it's going to be well worth it in the end. And then lastly here, you have the washer charm, which is also wishy-washy energy. That's what I always think of it as, like a wishy-washy energy, back and forth energy. So again, that's coming up. But also it does showcase a cleansing and relief at the end of it, which showcases near the Seven of Pentacles here, right? Yes, Seven of Pentacles and inspiration again. So again, you're still topping back and forth between these two energies, but we have to find where you'll eventually land this month. And either way, it's going to give you that grounded feeling. So just to have like basically a baseline, just to have something to settle into, I think is going to make you feel a lot better. So with that all said, I truly do hope you enjoyed and got something out of this reading and it resonated for you. If it did, like I mentioned, be sure to give this video a like or let me know in the comments down below. Was the number 5 saying something to you? The number 10? Did you see something within the relationship messages, the colors, the different charms that came through? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. But yeah, with all of that said, if you'd also like to see more of these readings, I have lots on my channel that are timeless readings that you can watch right now if you'd like to. But I also put out new readings every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, these monthly readings, 2-week readings, and so much more. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely feel free and consider subscribing. Also hitting the notification bell to stay updated. But also, if you'd like to follow along even further, I post a lot on Instagram as well that you can check out more on my spiritual side, my queer side, and also the different offerings that I provide. So I have a Kindred tip jar here, but I also do snail mail readings, which are super fun, very unique types of readings that are sent to you in the mail. And I also do lots of different craft related things too. So right now I'm doing Pride Month earrings. So if any of that is something down your alley, then definitely feel free to check it out as it helps and supports this space. But yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 3, if you've decided to choose this piece of Shungite, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set it down right here for you so you can see it during your reading today, as we're going to be looking into your month of July for energy, blessings, lessons, advice, relationship messages, and so much more, using the charms as well as the watercolor affirmations. I also will be using several different oracle decks, and the tarot deck that we're going to be using today is the Line Strider Tarot, and I haven't used this one in quite a while, and I mentioned this also in my other piles as well, but the reason why I felt so connected to it is it has such an intuitive, watery feeling to these cards and the watercolor nature of them. So I felt really connected because this month is a very watery month, a very emotionally and intuitively driven month, because we are moving in and we are currently in the season of Cancer, the Cancer season. So this is a great time and a great reading to really hone into your intuition, putting your intuition cap on and really taking time to look at the numbers, look at the letters that show up, the different colors, and the ways in which the cards really express themselves to you, and see what intuitive messages come in for you, because I think that's going to be really important with all of my readings, but also within this month, to take that in and really see what you can do for an intuitive practice yourself. So as always, feel free to work through that with me. But let's go ahead and get started. All of the different decks and supplies I'll have listed down below with the different offerings and other things that I have. But let's go ahead and start diving in. So if you're hydrated and ready to go, definitely feel free to get a drink of water if you'd like to get started. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. So feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and let's get into it. So group 3, those who chose Shungite, let's see what the highest and biggest, greatest energies are coming through for you most boldly and strongly this month. Group 3, what energy Okay, so we've got the Two of Cups. Interesting, because group 2 also had the Two of Cups show up, not entirely, but slightly. So if you were feeling that, maybe you came over to this pile, but or maybe you're feeling more connected to group 2. But there we are. We're already having the number 2 showing up as well as the cup suit. But let's see what else you have. Group 3. That number 2 is in my head. Group 3 here. Anything else? Group 3. Okay, we've got a couple more cards here. Let's see. So we have Strength as well as the Star. So there you are with both of them. We've got a lot of that really neutral navy sort of blue showing up. Very cool colors meeting that really pretty pink. So maybe the colors have something that's popping out for you, but that's coming in all 3 cards, this pink blue combo. And typically we've got green and other sorts of colors in this deck, but that's what's showing up most for you. But let's start looking into the energy here. So the Two of Cups showed up first, and the Two of Cups, for whatever reason, I'm seeing these little hummingbirds showing up a lot for me. And the hummingbird has this very quick-witted energy to it, a very like, move to this flower, move to this thing, move to this thing. They're very direct, very quick, very fast. And what I'm getting with the Two of Cups is maybe, and the Two of Cups usually talks about a partnership or a relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic, with a friend, with yourself even, or with spirit, however you see this as we move through the rest of the cards. But I do think as we move into this month, I think it's going to be really important to make sure that the way that you're communicating your emotions to the people that you love, to these people who you feel very connected and very on par with, right? These are very kindred people that you really enjoy their company, really feel like they're supportive and respect you, those types of people. Making sure that you are really listening to them, making sure that the conversations aren't quick and clipped at the very end of them, really taking your time to savor and enjoy their company is what I'm really getting here, because I think they're going to really help rejuvenate and give you more strength throughout the month, because the Star has a lot to do with rejuvenation. As you can see, they're sort of chilling in the water, really enjoying the breeze on their skin. There's this open, authentic feeling that comes with the Star, as well as hope and guidance. And I feel like your month is going to be very, not necessarily free-flowing, but more comforting, I feel like, or more like just going with the flow, seeing what life gives you, and knowing that you have the strength to get through anything that any battle that may show up, because we do have that strength card. But I feel like it's not about strength in terms of like really showing your strength and showing how like strong you are in that kind of like putting on a front kind of way, but just knowing that like you being your authentic self, you being your true self isn't something that makes you weaker or more vulnerable, but rather gives you that strength, because you have people to back you up. You create community through being yourself. And I see that you're moving into a place that you realize that you have strengths and capabilities and things within your life and people within your life that make you feel more supported and less weak because of that, right? Maybe you grew up in a way that made you feel like you had to be strong, or you had to hold in your emotions, or you had to move through life in a way that made you feel like you weren't allowed to process anything. And this is the month to maybe work through that, to feel more guidance, to feel more support and love from the people who are around you, and really noticing that they are really quite a gift in your life. And I know this sounds really cheesy, especially maybe from the perspective that you're in, but I see it being a very big part of your month and something that you're really going to be healing in. But I want to look a little bit deeper into this. So let's go ahead and move on to your blessing card. So this is going to be the card that is your biggest blessing for the month. And some of you I know don't love the word blessing or don't fully connect with it. So I see this more as like a tool in your tool belt, something that you can really take advantage of. This is the energy that's in your corner this month. So let's see what that is for you. Group 3. The energy in your corner this month of July for group 3, those who chose Shungite here. Oh, I don't think that's it. Let's see. Keep going. All right. We've got one throwing right up over here. Not throwing up, but throwing itself out. Here we are with good luck. That's a great one to get. So you have good luck in your corner. And something that I heard the other day that has kind of stuck with me, and maybe this resonates for some of you, is this feeling like when we think of luck, we always think of it as like, oh, I just got lucky, I just got lucky. And in some cases, maybe we really do feel that way. But sometimes we earned that luck and we just put it out as if, oh, I just got lucky. But if you look back, you realize that you made it so that you had to kind of grow that luck. You had to go through things to not necessarily earn that luck. I don't really want to say that, but say you were trying to get a job and you went through all of the hoops to get there, and then you don't give yourself the credit. You just tell yourself, oh, I got lucky. I just got lucky that I got that position, not because you studied hard, not because you worked hard for it, not because you were capable and responsible or whatever it may be to get that job position. And this is just an example. But I think that what I'm getting here with this good luck card is, yes, you may have luck in your favor. There might be things that are just lining up perfectly for whatever you'd like to accomplish or move through this month. But I think what's really important is to realize that you also put in the effort, that you have capabilities and reasons and why this luck came in, and to give yourself the credit. So that's what I'm getting here, is to give yourself the credit. Give yourself the credit that you got yourself to this place where you can feel more yourself than you ever have been. And I think that that's something to relish in. Also, with that intuitive element, definitely be sure to look at this card, as we've got lots of different symbolism showing up here with butterflies, sunflowers. We've got the cat, the crown, different trees, ladybugs, some sort of blue flower over here. See how it comes through for you. But we're going to move on to your next card. So this is going to be, to break up the reading a little bit, let's go ahead and look at a relationship message coming in for your month. So this is the energy coming through for your relationships. This could be platonic ones, romantic ones. These can be with friends, with family members, yourself even, or spirit. So feel free to send whatever and whichever one may be coming through for you, or just in general. So let's see, group 3, what message is coming through here for the main energy for group 3 for their relationships? Okay, so we've got turbulence. And like I said, I feel like there's something that's going to rock the boat a little bit, as I said at the beginning with that strength card, but I wasn't entirely sure how it was coming through. So it might be within a relationship in your I am fumbling over my words today, so sorry for that. I don't know why, but with turbulence, it says here, the mind is murky in rough waters. And I'm going to slow down with my words, but what I wanted to say here is, like I said, with that 2 of Cups, you have supportive people in your corner. You have people who are healing, that give you strength, that make you feel loved and connected and capable within your own self and the power that you hold. And I feel like there are going to be people who are, and whoever maybe you were even thinking of at this time, maybe you want to get advice on, and there's going to be turbulence. You're going to have some waves. You're going to have some high emotions, especially within this season of the Cancer season, to have to navigate. And so with this turbulence card, the mind is rough in murky water. So it's making sure that if your emotions are feeling rough and rocky and all over the place, to ask for advice, to get that help from the people who are supportive with you, and to remember that you are allowed to disengage. You do not have to engage in conversation with the people who are making you feel more turbulent. It doesn't have to be, you can put up that protection. You can have them help you out with that, and that's okay as well. So let's see your last 2 cards here before we move on to your affirmation and your charms. But this one is going to be a lesson card as well as an advice card from Spirit. So this could be advice from just the cards themselves, from a spirit guide, from gods, goddesses, however you may see it, the universe even. But let's look first into a lesson that you'll be learning. So this is like a skill, a lesson, something you're maturing in and growing through this month. So group 3, what is your lesson this month? Something you're going to be growing and maturing and moving through. Okay, so this one I think also came up last month. So if you saw this last month, it's definitely something you're still growing and learning through. But we have Blackthorn showing up here. And I'll get your next one here in a moment. But this is the fall suit, so it may be something they're going to continue to move on into the fall season. It also is the number 40 with Blackthorn here. We have a little crescent moon, 5 different stars. So again, the stars showing up here with 5 different stars, 5 being a number of change, of turbulence, of needing to rock something up a little bit to make that change and transformation happen. What we have here is Blackthorn, and this usually showcases wanting to do something, wanting to create something, wanting to do the next step towards something, right? You have your hand out, you're ready to do it, and something constantly interrupting your growth, constantly getting in the way. So I feel like you have something in your life right now that's kind of a thorn to your rose, right? It's constantly something that, like, say you're on a walk and you keep finding thorns in your foot by the end of the walk. This is making sure that you realize that there's something that you need to be avoiding, or something you need to be noticing is hurting, causing you pain, or creating this turbulence in your life that you may be ignoring and just walking through, right? Just walking despite the pain. And so this is needing to confront that this month, maybe needing to confront the things that continue to interrupt your growth, your healing, and having the strength to confront them, and knowing that you have people in your corner again that will bring you that strength as well. So that's what's coming through here with Blackthorn, but let's see what your advice is moving into this month as well. So group 3, what is your advice from Spirit moving into the month of July for group 3? Month of July. Okay, here we are. We have the Tulip. Okay, so the Tulip is unapologetically bold in yourself. That's what I get from this card. It is one of the boldest cards in this deck. It is bright. It is there. It is here. It's the number 14, which is usually related to the kings, or the most mature person within each suit within tarot. So it is, again, a maturity, a level up, a healing and growth that you're going through, blooming even. And then it also is in the summer suit. So this is of right now if you are in summer, or it can be on the opposite if you're in the southern hemisphere at the moment, that you're going to continue to move into. But with this, I'm just getting this feeling of reminding yourself that even though you are healing, you are still whole, and reminding yourself also that there lies such great strength in being vulnerable and being your authentic self, because if you think of tulips, they have to grow at the very beginning of the season. They are like some of the very first flowers to pop up in the spring and then move on into summer as well. And so they have to be very hardy plants, right? They have to be very hardy, but they're going to grow regardless, and they're going to grow with such beauty and such fullness. And they also are so this as an advice card is just a reminder to continue to grow despite the adversity in your life, despite the things that are trying to interrupt you, despite the things that are trying to cause turbulence in your life, maybe in a toxic manner, and needing to either cut those things out or grow beyond them, and know that you've grown beyond them and matured beyond them. And that isn't always easy, but I do think it's something well worth having the strength and a way of protecting yourself from the people who are trying to kind of stop your growth, from being most authentic and bold. So that's what I'm getting here from your cards, but let's pull your watercolor affirmation and then your charms. So here we go. Group 3, your affirmation for the month. Group 3. All right, so we've got a lot here. I'm going to take the one that popped up right. So let's see, we have dive into the deep. So again, very much a watery energy coming in with all 3 of the piles. This is about diving into something, diving deeply into something. So I'm feeling like the waters here are your healing, right? We had that star card of you sitting in this water. So I feel like, again, going with the flow this month can also just mean to really allow yourself to dive into the deep of that and see where it takes you. So see how that resonates for you, but that's what we have here so far. Let's see your last final details here with the charms to close off your reading. So feel free to send your energy in. So here we go, July for group 3. Okay, so we got a few of them here, not too many. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see a little bit clearer. But the first few that came up here, we have the letter D showing up here next to the crescent moon on Blackthorn. So yeah, the letter D, this may be a dad, a father figure, someone down your father's line. It can also be something having to do with a name, a place, a date, as in like a day even. But that's what we have showing up here for you so far. We also have here on the good luck charm, and next to dive into the deep, we have the monster charm. So I always think of this as like monsters under your bed. Yes, we can say that they're not real, but in the moment they feel real, right? In the moment when you're the kid or you're that person, when you kind of project these ideas of something much bigger than they actually are, they feel real. Fear is a powerful thing, right? Or something that makes us feel like something is much bigger than it is. And so you have that good luck. We have that capability that I was talking about earlier, and reminding yourself to give yourself credit. So maybe throughout this month, you're going to be thinking that you just moved through luck, through something that was really hard, that turbulence, but give yourself credit for the things that you took, the way that you moved through that turbulence, the strength that you took to do so, to bloom despite it. Because I think it's going to be really easy to say that it was just that you got lucky or you had help, and so that means that you didn't do anything. I think it's really easy to put yourself down that way, but definitely allow yourself to dive into how deeply you actually did move through this and how capable you really are, because you are. And then we also have this charm, which is starting, I might have to get a new one, but we have this silver lining charm. And so this is like, right, going through a difficult process of some sort, and still finding the silver lining in it all. And that's showing up here again on the good luck. So it's just reminding me of those same things, especially with the strength being right next to it. And then the last charm that we got here is the reindeer charm on the Two of Cups. And so with this Two of Cups, like I said, it feels like a supportive relationship really coming out for you within this month. And the reindeer showcases to believe in them, because the reindeer is about, sort of like the myth of reindeer being able to fly. But if we believe in it, just like the monsters, if we believe in it, it does also have a lot of power. So it's reminding yourself to believe in your friendships, to trust your friendships, to trust those sacred relationships in your life. They don't have to necessarily be friendships, however you may see them, however this card really is coming out to you. It could be a romantic relationship, a mother, a guardian, spirit guide, however you see it, but to believe in them and to put trust in them this month. So those are all of your charms and cards here. I'll zoom you out a little bit so you can see a little bit better. But those are all of them here. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot if you'd like and look through this as the month goes on. But if you did enjoy this, as I mentioned earlier, be sure to give this video a like, and also let me know in the comments down below, did the colors really speak to you, especially since we had those same colors coming through? Maybe the cat has something to say to you, or the turbulence card, however it may resonate for you. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I always find that super interesting if you're open to sharing. And also, if you are new to the channel, or maybe you've been here for a while, definitely feel free and consider subscribing, as I put out new videos every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, your own self-growth and healing, and so much more. And I'd love to continue to support you on your journey through these cards and see what comes up for you as the months go on. So definitely feel free and join in on this Kindred space. But you can also check out the Kindred space down below on my Instagram as well, as that's a great way to stay up to date on the different offerings that I provide for snail mail readings, pride-related earrings that I have out right now, different magical goods, and so much more. You can also check out the Kindred tip jar down below as well. And the Instagram community as well is just a great place to just keep up to date on more personal things that I'm up to as well. So with all of that said, definitely feel free to check it all out if that's something you're interested in to support this space. But yeah, I hope you got support through this reading, and I will see you in the next one. Wishing the best for you for the month of July, and bye.